All right, let's talk about an idea that completely flips the script on what we think it takes to succeed. You've heard it a million times, right? To do something great, you have to be a natural, born with some kind of special talent. But what if that idea is not just a little off, but actually dangerous? Okay, let's get into it.
So this whole story really kicks off with a single question asked of Angela Duckworth's father when she was just a little kid. And his answer? It was brutally honest. No, he said, she's not. And that wasn't a one-time thing. It was a label that stuck with her throughout her childhood, a constant reminder that, hey, she wasn't one of the gifted ones. And then, decades later, something wild happens. That same non-genius gets a phone call completely out of the blue. It's the MacArthur Foundation telling her she's won their prestigious fellowship, which, you guessed it, is known everywhere as the Genius Grant. I mean, the irony is just perfect. The very girl who was told her whole life she wasn't a genius wins an award for being one. This incredible story just forces us to ask a really big question. If someone who was supposedly not smart enough can reach the absolute top of her field, then maybe our obsession with natural talent is making us miss the point entirely. Maybe the story we've all been telling ourselves about success has a huge chapter missing. Okay, so let's dig into this, because our culture has this deep bias. We are in love with the idea of the natural, the prodigy who just seems to get it right without even trying. But this fascination isn't just some harmless preference. It has real and often pretty negative consequences. We basically split high achievers into two boxes. In one box, you've got the naturals. Their abilities seem almost magical, like they were just born with it. And in the other box, you've got the strivers, the people who get there through pure, relentless hard work. And here's the thing, we're fascinated by the naturals, but we kind of look down on the strivers. We see their success as less special, more ordinary. And you see this bias pop up everywhere. Take this for example. A political commentator once described Bill Clinton as a natural, a gifted politician, while framing Hillary Clinton as just a striver. The unspoken message there is so clear, isn't it? One is inherently better, and the other is just trying really hard to keep up. It's a subtle but powerful way we dismiss the value of effort. And this obsession with talent, it could be absolutely catastrophic. I mean, just look at Enron. For 6 years, everyone was calling it the most innovative company in America. Their whole culture was built on one thing, finding and rewarding talent above everything else. But it created this toxic, arrogant environment where winning was all that mattered, even if you had to cheat. The result? Well, it was one of the most famous and devastating corporate frauds in history. So, okay, if talent isn't the whole story and can even be dangerous, then what is? This is where Duckworth comes in with a totally different way of looking at things, a concept she simply calls grit. Now, grit isn't just another word for hard work. It's way more specific. It's a unique combination of two things. First, a deep and enduring passion for something. And second, the perseverance to stick with that thing for a very long time, through all the failures and all the setbacks. This brings us right to the heart of the whole idea. How do all these pieces, talent, effort, passion, perseverance, how do they actually fit together? Well, Duckworth boils it all down into two beautifully simple equations that honestly change the game. Okay, here's the first one. Talent multiplied by effort equals skill. Simple, right? But think about it. You might have a natural knack for drawing, but if you never actually sit down and practice for hours and hours, if you don't put in the effort, that talent is just potential. Effort is the magic ingredient that turns that raw talent into a real, usable skill. But wait, that's only half the story. The second equation is this. Skill multiplied by effort equals achievement. So you've put in the work, you've built up your skill. Now what? Well, you have to apply that skill over and over again with effort to actually create something, to win the championship, to write the book, to build the business. Effort shows up a second time to make your skills actually do something in the real world. And this is the mic drop moment. Effort counts twice. It shows up 2 times in the formula for what you achieve. Your natural talent not only gets counted once. This isn't just a feel-good idea, it's a mathematical argument for why your hard work is exponentially more important than whatever you started with. So, we get the theory, but what does grit actually look like in practice? Let's break down those 2 key components, passion and perseverance, and see how they fuel people who achieve amazing things. We usually think of passion like a lightning strike, this sudden, intense feeling. But a much better way to think about it is like a compass. It's not something you just discover one day. It's something you build over time, something you tinker with. And then once it's built, it gives you direction for your entire journey.
Take journalist Jeff Gettleman. It wasn't some sudden love for writing, but a slowly developed passion for East Africa that guided every single one of his career choices. Perseverance, on the other hand, is all about how you walk that path. You see, gritty people have this hierarchy of goals. Their ultimate top-level goal, their life's purpose, that's written in permanent ink. They are stubborn as heck about that big vision. But all the little goals, the daily tasks, the weekly plans, those are all written in pencil. When they hit a dead end, they just erase it, draw a new route, and keep marching toward that same fixed destination.
Now here's what I think is the most powerful part of this entire idea. Grit is not some fixed trait that you either have or you don't. It is something you can actually cultivate and grow within yourself. So the big question is, how do you do it? The absolute bedrock of grit is something psychologist Carol Dweck calls a growth mindset. It's the fundamental belief that you're not just stuck with the abilities you have right now. It's knowing that challenges aren't things to be afraid of. They're opportunities to learn and get better. Simply believing you can get smarter is the first crucial step toward putting in the effort that actually makes you smarter. And this belief kicks off a powerful chain reaction. A growth mindset changes the way you talk to yourself. I can't do this becomes, I can't do this yet. That kind of optimistic self-talk is the fuel that keeps you going when you inevitably hit a wall. It is a learnable skill that directly builds your capacity for grit. So, when you put it all together, here's the bottom line. Achievement isn't a single heroic leap. It's a long, demanding marathon. But the best news of all is that grit is your training program. By choosing a growth mindset, by building your passion, and by learning to persevere, you are actively preparing yourself for that long journey. And that leaves us with one last vital question to ask ourselves. Because it's one thing to understand the power of grit, but it's another thing entirely to apply it. So as you think about your own life and your own ambitions, ask yourself, what long-term, top-level goal is so important to you that it's worthy of your passion, your perseverance, your grit?